Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we're the Castros.
Happy Monday, start of a new week. And of course, since Monday ngayon, we are joined by...
House of Putuba.
Today, siguro parang ano to parang kutsinta na sapin-sapin na pinaghati-hati with cheese. And of course, ito yung sauce niya.
Ano
yung sweet,
sauce
so
niya?
parang caramel na
Caramel.
latik na ano.
Ito
Masarap siya, nakadalawa na nga ako.
Oo nga,
Bite size siya.
Ayan yung balat
Bite size siya kaya sakto lang for one person, one bite. Sarap, perfect na perfect
lang.
with coffee yan. Anyway, happy Monday po sa atin lahat. Thank you for joining us again, mga ka-brunchies. Another week of stories, another week of sagas, another week of politiseries.
Oo, akala ko nga may mga mabigat na mangyayari.
Wala.
Over the weekend. Pero ang nangyari lang naman, doon sa may Camarines area na naman, sa Bicol region, may mga nabaha na naman tayong mga kababayan
natin,
dito sa mga pag-ulan. Even here in Metro Manila, there were rains. Pero doon sa area, medyo grabe na naman yung nangyari sa kanila. Pero take note, wala namang low pressure area or any sama ng panahon.
Thunderstorm lang ata yan.
Yes, shear line. Mamaya pag-usapan natin yan.
Alright, we're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch. Now let's begin our countdown with the UAAP Cheerdance competition. The National University Pep Squad has reclaimed its crown and is now an 8-time champion in the event. The powerhouse cheering squad gave an out-of-this-world performance at the MOA Arena on Sunday. And you also swept all the special awards in the competition. Adamson Pep Squad placed second with their karaoke medley theme, while last year's champion, Far Eastern University or FEU, was third with their Frozen-themed performance.
Still in the UAAP, LaSalle has arranged a rematch in the men's basketball finals after crushing Adamson 70-55. Kevin Cambial led the way with 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. Their win over the weekend formally seals the Archers rematch against the UP Fighting Maroons in the finals. Game 1 of the finals is set after a week-long break on December 8 at the Smart Araneta Coliseum.
Balikan ko lang yun sa NU, yung nanalo sila kasi nga nakuha nila ulit yung kanilang crown, being the champion for this year's Pep Squad. So ang daming ang nanood. 18,000 fans were there in the SM Mall of Asia Arena to witness itong ang iba't ibang cheer dance na ginawa ng iba't ibang mga sikat na eskwelahan, di ba? So congratulations dun sa mga nanalo and dun sa hindi nanalo, congratulations pa rin dun sa kanilang effort.
And of course, UP and LaSalle, the rematch of last year's finals, di ba? And highly expected manalo ang Green Archers. Expected, pero never count out the UP Fighting Maroons because they are known for their team defense. Ito naman kasi sa LaSalle, they have the man Kevin Kiambao. His last season pala.
Ito na yung last season niya.
Supposedly, based sa age niya kasi, ito na last season niya. And of course, gusto niyang umalis na may ipabaon niya ng LaSalle ng 2 championship man lang.
Oh, diba? Napakaganda. Iiwan niyang legacy, diba, sa De La Salle University.
Yes.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Settling at the 9th spot is the weather. 2 male elders in the town of Cabusao in Camarines Sur are missing due to the flood caused by the rain. The 2 senior citizens were riding an e-bike with 2 other people yesterday morning when the flood occurred. The 2 passengers survived the flood while the e-bike was recovered in the afternoon. Authorities are currently conducting a search and rescue operations. Pag-asa reported that the shear line will trigger rains in some parts of Luzon and Visayas. These include Metro Manila, Mimaropa, Calabarzon, Bicol, as well as Eastern and Western Visayas. Meanwhile, Amihan or the northeast monsoon will bring rains over northern and central Luzon. Now, but what exactly is a shear line and how should the public respond to this?
Let's get that answer from Pag-asa weather forecaster Glyza Esculiar on the line. Good morning, Glyza.
Good morning po sa inyo, Sir Jaco at Ma'am Angela.
Glyza, in layman's terms, ano ba ang shear line?
Ang shear line po ay pagsasalubong po ng hangin na mainit at malamig. Amihan po kasi is malamig at yung easterlies naman po, yung hangin ng gagaling dagat Pasifiko ay mainit. Para ka pong may nilagay na baso sa loob ng ref at
Yes.
nilabas mo siya from cold tapos nilabas mo siya sa dry. Malamig po yung baso at pati kahit wala po yung tubig. And then nilabas mo siya sa environment na mas mainit ay nagkakaroon po ng mga pagbubuo po ng mga butil-butil na parang pawis po sa baso.
Okay.
So, ganun din po yung logic po ng shear line. So, pag yung malamig na hangin po ay tinabi mo po sa mainit, ay nagkakaroon po ng pagbubuo po ng mga kaulapan.
Okay. Yung nangyari mga pag-ulan doon kanina doon sa report namin sa may Bicol and Camarines area, ano ba to? Shear line yung nag-cause nun?
Yes po, yung sa Bicol Region, Eastern Visayas, ang mga pag-ulan po noon ay dulot po ng shear line. Meron po tayong nilabas na advisory prior po dun sa nangyaring mga flooding po at yung malalakas na pag-ulan.
So yung shear line pala can bring storm like rain and flood, Ms. Glyza?
Yes po. Kung maaalala niyo po yung mga landslide gaya po ng Ginsaugon nung sa Leyte po.
Right.
Dulot din po yun ng shear line po. That was years ago po. Pero shear line po yung cause yung tail end of a cold front.
Yes, Glyza, yung shear line ba can cause little ice droplets sa iba-ibang part ng Luzon? Kasi may mga nag-report daw sa mga areas dito sa Luzon, may mga provinces daw or cities na naka-experience po na parang maliliit na hail.
Ang hail po ay kaakibat po ng isang thunderstorm or cumulonimbus cloud. So pag meron po tayong mga thunderstorms at medyo may kataasan pulong lugar gaya ng Baguio, Rizal area, yung mga hilly po yung topography, yun po yung kadalasan po nakakaranas po ng mga hail.
Okay.
Kasi po ang ulan po talaga ay yellow po siyang nanggagaling sa taas, pero dahil po sa gravity at dun sa temperature po habang nagtatravel siya, nagiging water po siya pagbaba.
Siyempre gusto rin po malaman hanggang kailan daw po natin mararanasan itong shear line and kung meron pa tayong mga namamantaan na iba pang weather disturbances outside our Philippine area of responsibility na posibleng pumasok.
Yung episode po ngayon ng shear line, ina-expect po natin na tatagal pa siya po hanggang Wednesday and early Thursday po. And then mag-subside na po yung effect niya o mag-weekend. And then may mga episode din po yung shear line. And then for yung signal po kung meron pong mga sama ng panahon. Sa ngayon po ay wala pa po tayong nakikita. Although, meron pong forecast ang climatological division ng isa o dalawang bagyong papasok o maaaring maka-apekto sa bansa ngayong December. Pero sa ngayon po, in 2 to 3 days, wala pa po tayong nakikitang senyales na meron pong mabubuong sama ng panahon.
Ms. Glyza, I have one last question.
Yes, po.
Yung sa shear line po natin, nakalagay din po sa mga report and advisory po na binibigay ng Pag-asa na mostly mararamdaman ito sa bandang Luzon at Visayas. Is it because hindi masyado present ang amihan doon sa mga area na yon?
Bali po, pag malakas po ang amihan, ang shear line po natin ay concentrated dito po sa Visayas and Bicol region. Pag mahina naman po, ang shear line po natin ay nag-uumpisa yan dito po sa may Cagayan, Isabela at Aurora area. So sa ngayon po, umaakyat na po yung epekto ng shear line. Ibig sabihin po, humihina na rin po yung effect ng habagat. So bali po ang determinants po kung saan po mapupunta ang shear line base po sa lakas po ng amihan din po.
Ayun naman pala. Klaro ng pag-explain sa atin. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, Pag-asa weather forecaster Glyza Esculiar.
Yan pala. Okay, let's move on. Coming in at our top 8. President Bongbong Marcos calls on the nation to remember the victims of recent typhoons this Christmas season. The details in this report by mobile journalist Julie Baiza.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos led the Christmas tree lighting ceremony at the Kalayaan Grounds in Malacanang Palace last night. Aside from the First family, some officials from different government agencies and former First Lady Imelda Marcos attended the event. In his message, PBBM reminded everyone to remember the victims of recent typhoons, especially this Yuletide season.
All I'd like is to ask you to hold a thought for all those people who up to now are trying to recover from the effects of the 6 typhoons that we suffered in 23 days.
He added that many of the typhoon victims are still in shelters or evacuation centers. The president also mentioned the victims of recent fire in Tondo, Manila.
Let's help each other. And my Christmas wish is that despite everything, that no Filipino has, every Filipino should feel somehow Christmas. Because after all, no matter how many typhoons they throw at us, no matter how many problems are thrown at us, there's nothing that will quench the Christmas spirit in the Filipino heart. In every child, man, woman, Filipino, hindi mo na matatanggal sa Pilipinas yan.
But despite this, PBBM said that everyone deserved to celebrate Christmas.
Put the trials and tribulations that we have been through in the past year, put them to one side. We will come back to them, but put them to one side for just a little bit and enjoy the benefits of family, their affection, and all that comes with Christmas. Maligayang Pasko, Pilipinas.
During the program, the president also confers awards to the top 3 winners of the National Parole-Making Competition, dubbed as Isang Bituin, Isang Mithiin by the Office of the President, Office of the Social Secretary, and the Department of Education. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza, We Are One News.
Yeah, nice mindset na i-instill sa mga kababayan natin while we are getting worried of what to eat this coming Noche Buena, kung ano yung bibilin regalo for your loved ones or yourself. Also remember, may mga kababayan tayo na nawala ng bahay, wala ng loved ones. We're like this naman every year, we say these things. But really, sa back ng heads natin, we are all guilty naman of being concerned kung ano yung kakainin at ano yung mga regalo. But this time, let's just really be concerned sa mga kababayan natin kasi may bubong tayo, may
yung
may
true
food.
spirit ba ng Christmas, di ba?
Oo,
Yung gift-giving doon sa mga biktima.
Huwag mawala ng true
ng
spirit of
typhoon.
Christmas is remembering the birthday of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Actually nga, yung pumunta din si President Bongbong Marcos doon sa mga nawala ng bahay sa may islang Puting Bato, sa may Manila. 'Di ba sila yung nasunugan yung almost 2,000 families doon, at sinasabi nga niya sa Manila LGU na sana hindi naman abutan pa ng Pasko yung mga kababayan natin doon sa evacuation center, na hopefully by Christmas ay nasa kani-kanila na silang mga, or nandun na sila sa bahay, sa bagong relocation na area na ibibigay dito sa mga kababayan natin. Alright, coming up, what is the International Criminal Court or ICC asking from the potential witnesses of the Duterte drug war?
And Vice President Sara Duterte claims that she was already poised to win 2022 presidential elections, but why did she give it away?
Yeah, we can remember, di ba, before the 2022 elections, yung mga surveys, talaga siya yung number one choice for
pero computation-wise,
candidate.
computation-wise, at if natuloy yung election na yon na presidential silang lahat, they all were very tight. Like, Sara would have had 16 million, PBBM had 15, si VP Lenny had 15. Statistical tie.
Mahati talaga yung boto. Kung natuloy si Vice President Sara Duterte noon,
President
Bongbong Marcos,
sabi ko nga, statistical tie. 16 si Sara, 15 million si PBBM, 15 million si Lenny. Could you imagine down the wire, parang year's elections lang? Hey!
Down the wire. We're just getting started, mga kapatid. More of our top 10 news and Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. still watching Brunch here on One News. Maraming salamat
Yes.
sa House of Putuba for our lovely kakanin today.
Parang mga sapin-sapin na bite-size with cheese.
Parang kutsinta
and salt.
nga siya eh,
Hindi,
brown.
kala namin kutsinta nung una, but when you bite it, parang may flavor siyang kutsinta, pero texture ng mga sapin-sapin. Ganda. Masarap
Well,
siya.
still Pinoy.
Thank you sa
masarap
ating
yan.
mga partners in food.
Ayun.
Oh, it's more-
Basahin ko lang, speaking of partners, ito, partners naman natin dito sa Brunch, yung mga usual suspects natin na nanonood dito sa Brunch. Batiin ko lang itong nasa YouTube natin, si Geraldine Balolong, si Alex Fuentes, Elmo Cardenas, si Summer Cabrera, si Ronald Maxtay, Leonie Valdesoto, yan, naalala ko yan sila. Si Tita Daisy, Tito Naldi, and Tito Nito Cancio, nanonood din yan sa atin. Si VJ, si Ice, di ba, mga nanonood din sa atin. Mina Benales ng ating family sa Jessie Mendez.
Some Pokemon Go.
Yes, si Sam Pokemon Go, si Sean Makize, si JC Banalo, si Ralph Domingo, sino pa ba? Si Migs Ebron, yan, nanonood yan sa atin.
Morning!
Morning, Jerry Yang also nanonood sa atin. Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Now, on our 7th spot, the Agriculture Department is set to bring the Rice for All program in select Metro Manila markets. This means that rice products priced as low as 42 pesos per kilogram would be sold in the area. The agency is now looking into the exact date of the release and the markets that will have the program. But several agriculture groups have called for long-term solutions in strengthening local production.
Yan, long-term solutions in strengthening local production. We're looking at hybrid rices. Ang problema kasi, maganda yung yield ng hybrid rices, maganda rin ang resilience niya to weather conditions. Ang problema lang daw kasi the equipment and the fertilizers that kailangan gamitin sa hybrid, medyo mahal ng konti. At saka hindi pa masyadong trained ang farmers to use it. Oo. Pero may mga nasa research na natin yung mga butil. Si Bill Gates even went here.
Pumunta siya sa Los Baños.
Yeah, kasi meron siyang
Rice Institute.
Rice Institute na where he donates, diba? So they're coming up with different types of crops ng rice that will be resilient to pagbagyo, sobra ng tubig, walang tubig, diba? So, and high yield.
Yun.
High yield rice.
Tsaka di ba we're also looking into getting, I think meron na rin tayo, yung kung saan sinostore yun, nakalimutan ko yung pangalan nun eh, yung sinostore ng mga bigas para...
Granary.
Oo, para hindi
Granary.
sila mabubulok kapag umulan or di ba malamig yung panahon. Pero yun nga sinasabi na kahit daw mababa yung mga presyo ng palay ngayon, mataas pa rin yung presyo sa market dahil dun sa mga additional charges from retailers at saka traders. So they're checking also paano yung mapapababa. And of course, yung Quinta Committee o yung Super Committee ng House of Representatives are also checking dun sa baka daw may mga rice manipulation over the past year. And of course, syempre alam naman natin this year na pinatutupad yung pagbaba, 'di ba? Nung decrease ng tariff yung sa palay natin. Pero bakit nga ngayon mataas pa rin yung presyo? So they're trying to see or they're trying to do, sabi nila na parang madikit dun sa 20 pesos na gusto ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Pero so far ngayon 42 under Rice for All program pa yan, ha. Hindi yan yung ang tawag doon yung commercialized talaga na mga
Commercial na bigas.
Oo. Okay, sige, let's continue with our countdown.
Settling at the 6th spot is about the Lumbia Airport in Cagayan de Oro. The country is preparing the airport to be used by the U.S. as one of their Enhanced Defense Cooperation and Agreement, or EDCA, sites. Defense Secretary Gibo Chodoro inspected the airport yesterday. He said some changes in the future EDCA sites will be visible come 2026. Aside from being a warehouse for the American military, the U.S. will also use the Lumbia Airport as their disaster response site.
Para sa ganon, makapreposition ang US ng kagamitan para sa disaster response. At madali na lang ang pagkuha ng goods pag kailangan. Magiging rin ito, base for Northern Mindanao disaster relief operations. No? May runway na tayo.
Chodoro also disclosed that the site of the Office of Civil Defense near the airbase is going to be converted into a regional coordination center for disaster prevention and response. He said this project will need all the necessary funds.
Gawa na ito. Kailangan namin ng budget para patakbuhin ito. Sayang din, ang magandang facility, hindi natin gagastusan ng maintenance. No?
Yeah, mga ganyan ang sinasabi natin from the start. Imbis na yung pinag-uusapan ng Department of yung disaster.
Disaster, Department of Water, yan. Marami yan.
Instead of that, maximize what we have. So currently yan,
sa EDCA.
Secretary Gibo Teodoro, by prepositioning an area, like yung sinasabi niyang airport na yan, that will provide yung heavy equipment na nahihirapan tayo i-transport during yung times of calamity dahil wala na access, nandun na siya. So yung mga C-130s, yung C-130 ng US Air Force, pwede na mag-land doon. And from there, pwede na mag-land delivery of items na kailangan. Just may coordinating center din tayo na malaki in that area. Usually, ang problema kasi is yung connection between the metro, yung NCR, which is where all the headquarters are, and connecting them to the regional offices. Minsan, pag talagang nasalanta yung area, kuryente, wala, internet, wala, di ba?
This could be the hub.
This could be a secondary hub for that area para mabilis ang response.
Totoo. Kaya nga yung during ng mga kasagsagan ng mga typhoon sa atin, October, November, nakakausap nga natin yung mga PDRMO. And also, si President Bongbong Marcos have already issued a statement before na pwedeng gamitin yung mga EDCA sites natin, di ba, for humanitarian efforts. So, yun nga, sinabi nila, particularly kasi yung area ng mga nabagyo, di ba, ng mga nakaraan, itong sa may Cagayan, ay na-maximize naman, for that matter, yung area na yun. So ngayon lang, so syempre, kailangan nilang pagandahin, palawakin yung capability nitong area. So in context lang, what we're going to do there is a humanitarian assistance and disaster relief or HADR warehouse. Yun yung kanilang kumbaga, i-construct doon sa
Pero
area.
if this is under naman EDCA agreement, wala naman expense sa atin to. Expense ng US government to. Kasi sa EDCA ganun eh. They will pay for yung enhancement of yung mga bases and sites to be used. And eventually, pag tapos na sila doon, they will turn it over to us. So, the Americans, supposedly, based on the EDCA agreement, will be the ones to retrofit, to make it modern, to enhance, to strengthen the structure.
And then we expect, of course, rapid response pagdating ng mga sakuna, which is di naman as much as possible, we don't like it, but di natin maiiwasan yun. So in the time of calamity or yung mga nangyayari dito sa atin, at least we expect nga yung rapid response and support from these sites. Diba? Dito manggagaling yung hub natin. Okay, sige, let's continue with our countdown. Sitting at the 5th spot is Jane Veloso. Her family is pleading to President Bongbong Marcos to grant clemency for her. The OFW, who was detained in Indonesia for 14 years, is expected to fly back to the Philippines this month. However, the Indonesian government expects our country to continue Veloso's prison time after she was convicted of possessing drugs. Mary Jane's parents express hope that their daughter will come back to their home after she returns to the Philippines.
Sana po pagdating niya po dito sa Pilipinas, bigyan na po kaagad ng clemency at makauwi na po sa aming bahay.
Tignan natin yung movements, pero we don't expect an initial
right
response
away.
because siyempre PBBM wants to show respect din sa Indonesian government na okay, assess namin siya kung ano yung good behavior na papakita niya dito, then we will make a decision to release her. And every move daw that the president will make, parang ipapaalam niya sa Indonesian government.
Ang maganda nga daw dito, when this agreement happened, wala naman daw hinihinging kapalit.
Wala.
Yung ang Indonesia.
It's just, of course,
that
we don't want to be on the bad side of Indonesia, who have been a long partner of the Philippines.
Yes. So kaya sinasabi nga nila, di ba, na parang, long-time partner ito, tapos wala namang hinihinging kapalit. At saka
Respeto
alam
lang.
din naman ng Indonesian government na wala din naman tayong death penalty here. So,
and
those
the mere fact
terms,
na
alam
pinadala
nila
pa rin.
yun.
Oo.
Diba? So, yun nga lang, kaya nga sinasabi din ng family ni Mary Jane Veloso, the mere fact, and other people as well, the mere fact that she was out of the death row, that's already a gift.
She's out of the gallows.
Diba? That's already a gift for them for this coming Christmas. Pero yung makita siya in person ngayon, bonus na nga daw.
Tsaka we all know the stance of the Philippine government as to the case of Mary Jane Veloso is we think that and we know that she is a victim of yung circumstance itong yung mga human traffickers, drug dealers, and cartels na we need her to testify against them. So yan ang stance natin. With that given, alam natin eventually she's going to get the presidential pardon.
That's why she needed to, yung sinasabi nila, di ba merong case nga sila sa Nueva Ecija, yun yung court doon na tinatry, yung mga allegedly nag-recruit illegally kay Mary Jane Veloso at they need her statement para makausad yung... May kausad
kompleto na yung statement.
I'm saying, meron ng statement pero they still need her to testify pa. Pero di ba kung sabi nga nung magulang ni Mary Jane, kung sila lang yung masusunod, sana wag na lang because they fear for their lives. Dahil during daw ng time na nandoon nga si Mary Jane Veloso, kasagsagan ng kaso na yun, napapansin daw nila dun sa bahay nila, may mga umaaligid, di ba? No? So they really feared for their lives.
Actually, if you look at the court rulings back then, parang binaypass na yung actual appearance ni Mary Jane given circumstance. Sinasabi nila that no longer ang physical presence required niya, just a sworn affidavit and statement. Kasi officers of the court, I think, and the embassy in Indonesia took her statement in lieu of an actual testimony. Diba? Pero now that she is home, nagde-debate sila whether kailangan pa. Some lawyers will say hindi na kailangan kasi napasok na sa evidence, nakita na ng judge yung statement na sworn na siya yung gumawa. Hindi naman kasi natin alam na uuwi siya eh. Ngayon na uuwi siya, it's going to be a risk to transport her to and from areas given kung kanino siya laban ng testify.
Totoo. Basta nakakulong pa rin siya. Pagdating niya dito, ikukulong pa rin siya.
Bago siya i-release, syempre, while she's in jail, ang critical lang daw dyan is just to make sure she is safe. Yun lang.
Tapos syempre, yung anak niya, isipin mo, 14 years old. 14 years siyang nakakulong dun sa Indonesia. Yung mga anak niya at the time that she left
3 years old lang ata
was 8 years old and they were 8 years old and 3 years old. Ngayon, di ba, plus 14 years mo na. This is the only time that they're gonna see their mother in flesh.
Yeah,
diba? Pagdating in the flesh. Pagdating niya dito sa Pilipinas. Pero yun nga, balikan lang din natin yung storya nito ni Mary Jane Veloso, paano siya nakakawala sa death row. Is it because of what the Pinoy administration did during his time, 'di ba? Ginawa nga siyang parang teka muna, parang sabi nga na dinelay nila yung execution niya by saying dun sa Indonesian government, teka muna, kailangan namin siya para ayusin namin yung kaso dito against her illegal recruiters. And then, come Duterte administration, at that time, ang Duterte administration naman ay sinabing, sige, di ba, parang the President Rodrigo Duterte supposedly gave go signal sa Indonesian government na mabitay siya. Kaya, teka muna, di ba, wag muna. Pero apparently, ito naman yung pagpasok ng Marcos administration, 'di ba? 2 beses nagkita itong kanilang leaders, 'di ba? Una yung pagpunta niya dito, pangalawa pagpunta ni President Bongbong Marcos sa Indonesia para dun sa oath-taking ni Prabowo. And yun nga, napag-usapan nga din itong si mga Mary Jane Veloso. Pero in context, ang Indonesian government ang actually, according sa reports, ang kumontak sa atin regarding this. Kasi they're forming a policy nga daw na kapag matagal na dun sa kanilang kulungan at meron naman good behavior, pwede nilang maibalik doon sa mga respective countries itong mga nakakulong sa kanila. Alright, let's...
Hinga-hinga na.
Alright, sige. Natutuwa lang ako kasi syempre bilang isang ina, nararamdaman ko din yung yung nararamdaman ng nanay ni Mary.
Pero lesson learned ha, stay away from drugs everyone.
Yes. Alright, sige, let's continue with our countdown.
On our top 4 is about the International Criminal Court. The ICC is urging potential witnesses in former President Rodrigo Duterte's drug war to come forward. The ICC called on them to share information about alleged crimes against humanity that occurred between June of 2016 and March of 2019. The court has launched a website where interested witnesses may provide information anonymously. This comes just a few weeks after Duterte dared court representatives to go to the Philippines and investigate him.
Over the weekend, I saw that post ng ICC. But let's talk more about that appeal from the ICC.
The court's assistant to counsel, Attorney Cristina Conti, is joining us via Zoom. Attorney, thank you very much for joining us on our program.
Yes, good morning. Pleased to be here.
Yes, attorney, let's get right to it. No? What prompted ba the ICC to issue this appeal? Dahil ba sa hamon ito ni PRRD?
Hindi ko masabi kung ano exactly, pero una, ang isang witness appeal naman ay standard procedure sa isang investigation. Kahanap ka ng mga witnesses. But the fact that it comes after that challenge,
Yes.
the fact that it comes within the context of ongoing the Quadcom investigation and even the Senate investigation, where some witnesses have come forward,
Yes.
yung hindi traditionally na nakikita na natin noon, no?
Yeah.
I would say that to some extent, the ICC was inspired in the sense that, or maybe as a last call,
Yeah.
let's look for these witnesses and offer them an opportunity, a platform for them to reach us.
Yeah, attorney, no, I'd like to ask kasi as a layman would like to understand this better, no? Yung initial witnesses daw sa ICC were mostly from the family side, aside from kay I think is it Las Cañas o Matobato, no? But this time around, given yung Quadcom hearing, ang daming labasan from the government side at the time. So is this the call for that appeal for these people who testified sa Quadcom to come forward and also to corroborating witnesses also?
Well, yes, I would say that this is an appeal coming within the context of the Quadcom. Ito na yung opportunity for these quote-unquote insider witnesses. That's what they're called. People who were part of the operation, people who were part of the entire scheme. Technically, you would say that they are co-conspirators with the killings. And as it appears, even with the drug trade and even with the POGO operations. For the court to unravel all this, they would need a thorough look at everything. And so this call for witnesses, actually additional witnesses, would mean that they're just doing their job. For those who say that maybe kulang yung ebidensya, di ba, na we don't know exactly what the court holds.
Right.
The investigation teams under the office of the prosecutor operate kind of independently. So one team might be in touch with some witnesses already, the other team in touch with other witnesses. And the witnesses that you mentioned, Matobato, Las Cañas, and even victims, are those that have already been publicly named. Nabanggit na ito ng OTP, simula pa lang nung preliminary examination.
Yeah.
Kaya palagay ko, during the investigation in the past several years, may nadagdag naman na dyan. Kaya
Go
better
ahead po.
be safe
Right.
than kumbaga, err on the side of caution that the ICC does have additional witnesses.
Tama. Pero, attorney, can you walk us through the process of this, yung mga pinost ng ICC? Kasi nakalagay doon, it will be anonymous, pero they were asking, of course, for contact information, di ba, email address, mobile number. Can you walk us through?
In the same way that how the victims reached the court previously during representations, potential witnesses can approach the court through lawyers, organizations, or a representative. That's the number and the name that they can put in the website.
Right.
In fact, I would pretty much know that it's secure because at the end of the website, at the end of the form, sort of, it asks for a keyword. So yung parang code na ito, kapag hindi ibinigay sa'yo ng tatawag sa'yo, hindi yan yung ICC. So ganong spy element
Spy
to this.
level,
Pag hindi sinabi yung code word na ni-nominate mo, na nilagay mo doon, hindi totoo to. Pero in any case, all of this will culminate in a possible face-to-face interview, which is with the maximum in The Hague or possibly in any other location. And because of recent developments, I would even say that this online call for witnesses, so yung witness appeal nila, taken to a website, might be one of the first times that the ICC has done this. In previous years, in different situations, pumupunta sila sa lugar, nagsiset up ng office, dinadaan sa government.
Yeah.
Ito, parang na-sense nila na yung Pilipino, malakas mag-internet, malakas mag-surf. So it could be a good platform to reach out, particularly because of the circumstances also that now most people are back to problematizing the war on drugs and realizing that it was wrong and we could do something about it.
Yung interesting sinabi mo kanina, no, and with this last one what you said, yung conspirators kasi ang mga bagong witnesses eh. I mean, majority of them were part of the actual program. Now, ano yung guarantee ng court na they will not be persecuted because alam nila they were part of it.
Yes.
Baka hindi sila lumantad because they feel baka sila rin ang makulong, maidawit.
Absolutely, the court cannot guarantee immunity because these people, most of them, will still remain in the Philippines. And as envisioned, everybody who was involved should be taken to court. The ICC will take in all those who are most responsible, so kung sino yung nag-utos. Pero yung nautusan, sa totoo lang, dapat humarap din sa korte sa kanya-kanyang bansa. Kaya may sabayan may domestic and may international prosecution.
Yeah.
Dito sa Pilipinas, ang tingin ko habang hindi pa nananawagan si Marcos na parusahan ng lahat yan and so forth. Although at the same time, wala naman siyang pinapangakong immunity sa mga lalapit, I think it would be right now is a perfect time to come forward with information. And it depends on what your participation was. Sabi na nga rin ni Duterte, meron silang defense. Ang importante lang kasi that we hear in court these defenses. Ang nangyayari kasi ngayon, which is wrong, sasabihin na lang na ay dahil ng laban, ay hindi na makakatungtong ng korte, hindi ka na makakasuhan. Wrong. Dapat po makatungtong yan ng korte para at least malaman nung biktima kung anong nangyari. Kaya but there is no assurance. It is this perfect time na wala pang overall government policy about this, how to deal with sabi nga nila, yung kumalabit ng gatilyo. Yan, humarap na bago pa magkautusan na, sige nga, pati lahat yan tusigin.
Attorney, kasi do you think itong pag-post ng ICC or asking other witnesses to come out, tsaka magbigay ng pahayag sa kanila to help nga doon sa kanilang kaso, do you think dahil kulang pa ng ebidensya or documents to pin down President Rodrigo Duterte?
Hindi. Kasi kung kulang sila ng ebidensya, last year pa yan nanawagan or 2 years ago at the start of the investigation. Now, we're 2 years in. And I would even say 3 years in kasi yung investigation nila nagsimula na 2001 pa lang. I likely see this as preparation for trial. And this is standard practice for good lawyers, no? Simula pa lang bago pa magsimula yung trial, prepared ka na. And in fact, sapat ang ebidensya mo hanggang conviction. Kaya kahit na ngayon pa lang na investigation stage, nagkakaroon ng call for witnesses, hindi ibig sabihin yan kulang. Ibig sabihin yan, naghahanda na yan para sa trial and eventual conviction. Kumbaga, hindi ka papasok kasi sa investigation, yung stage ngayon, this is where the question asked is, who are most responsible? Within the past month, we've seen someone say, I am. I am responsible for legal consequences of this war. So they've already solved the question. And the next phase of the state of the proceedings would be trial. And the question is this person guilty? Doon na natin kailangan ng mas maraming ebidensya pa nga.
Attorney, any idea na, kasi nung mga few weeks ago, na-interview din po namin si Senator Antonio Trillanes and he mentioned to us na ibigay daw, nasabit na sa ICC yung mga transcript ng hearing sa Quadcom at that time. And possible daw by December may arrest warrant na itong si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Do you think that is true also? May naririnig ka na rin po ba na by December maaresto siya?
Well, for us, it's always been our hope that within this year, 2024, a warrant of arrest is either requested for or issued. In the context of recent requests and issuances by the court of warrants of arrest sa kaso ng Rohingya, sa kaso ng Palestine, napapaisip kami na, naku, baka next na yung Pilipinas. But the thing is, of course, we cannot pressure the court. And for us, even while we think it should come within the year, we're still positive that it will come soon, even if next year, then that would be fine for us. What's important is that these people are arrested and taken to court.
Yes.
Baka kasi prop lang sa totoo lang kapag in-announce na nag-request na kami ng warrant of arrest, nag-issue na ng warrant of arrest. The most important thing is, nahuli nyo ba ito?
Yeah, attorney, also, no, para maintindihan din natin, no, walk us through kung ano yung options with regards to the warrant of arrest. Do we course this to the PNP or is it coursed from the ICC to Interpol directly to our Interpol desks sa mga police stations natin? Ano yung options in enforcing this?
Well, that's correct. There's two ways. First, the warrant of arrest will be announced or issued to member states. And in this case, to a state where the target or the suspect, the subject of the warrant of arrest is present. So, papasok yan sa government of the Philippines. It could also go through yung notice of the warrant of arrest through the Interpol, because the ICC and the Interpol have an agreement that any and all warrants of arrest will be coursed through the Interpol. And as a member of the Interpol, of which the lead agency here in the Philippines is NBI. Now we're looking at two agencies, PNP and NBI, who could very well enforce the warrant. We're not discounting any other compulsions, whether by diplomatic channels or kung ano man, katulad nga, itong kaso ni Mary Jane, di ba?
Yeah.
Right.
Usapan to ng bansa sa bansa.
Yeah.
And if one country asks for the enforcement of a warrant of arrest in the Philippines, then it depends how the government will see it. And
Right.
hopefully, we think that for PBBM, he will see this as the best option possible.
Yeah.
Not only just, kumbaga, politically, but also personally. For him, it shows that he's committed to see through until the very end the rule of law.
Attorney Conti, lastly, finally, if the warrant of arrest is issued and let's say, for example, President Digo Duterte would be apprehended, saan ba muna siya dadalhin? Is it diretso ba sa The Hague or meron muna siyang paglalagakan?
It depends, no, kung paano ma-enforce yung warrant of arrest. I will give an example on a possible parang extradition request. So, for example, a country, let's say, I'm not sure if we have an extradition treaty with Japan, for example. Japan requests for the arrest of Duterte, the Philippines enforces it. We turn over the Duterte to Japan, to Japanese authorities, and then they will ensure that Duterte will be taken to the court. It depends. Kung willing naman tayong i-enforce yung warrant, pwedeng idiretso niya na sa The Hague. So The Hague is where the jail for detention, for yung parang pre-conviction detention is made. So doon ka habang dinidinig yung kaso. Pagkatapos, and so this is an entirely different thing, kapag na-convict kung sakali, dito na yung, we've lost the option actually to offer Bilibid as a place for yung penal detention, yung parang parusa na. If we were a member state, we could have offered our own penal facilities. Right now, there are, I think, at least 6 or at least 5 penal countries who have volunteered their facilities. That includes I think the UK, the United Kingdom. There's another B country. I just forgot. So, mostly, sa totoo lang, countries in Europe. Sayang, sana pwede nating maipakita how we treat prisoners in Bilibid.
Alright, sige, with that, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. That was ICC Assistance to Counsel, Attorney Cristina Conti. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, don't go away because we're not done yet. May dalawa pa tayo. Stay with us. back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. House of
Puto bao.
Bao. Bao.
Tama ba?
Baka mali kami. Bao or bao.
Basta masarap sila.
I-try nyo yan. Okay?
Yes.
Sige, let's move on.
At our third spot, personalities from the opposition condemned Vice President Sara Duterte skipping her appointment with the National Bureau of Investigation or NBI last week. Former Senator Laila de Lima expressed disappointment with the Vice President. She lamented that VP Sara thought of another excuse in evading authorities for her recent statements against the administration. Recall that VP Sara was supposed to go to the NBI after she was served with subpoena for her supposed threats against President Bongbong Marcos.
Bakit ganon? Hindi na naman siya at meron na naman siyang naisip na excuse. Yun nga ang nakakalungkot na merong ganyang vice presidente na hindi ginagalang yung mga proseso.
The House Committee on Good Government rescheduled their hearing for VP Sara to attend her appointment with the NBI. However, her camp claimed they did not know about this before they asked NBI for a reschedule. The House Committee rejected this excuse and insisted they informed her early about it. Aspiring lawmaker Chel Jokno urged the Vice President to be more transparent and cooperate with the ongoing investigation about her office's confidential expenses.
Marami sanang dapat malaman ng taong bayan sa mga nangyayari, lalong-lalo na sa Office of the Vice President.
Tsaka the VP Sara was on record numerous times at mag-attend siya.
Yes.
Mag-attend siya.
Oo.
So that confirmation means as the, okay, Vice President ka. But as the Vice President, then magpakita ka ng... Magpakita ka
Pero
ng-
kasi ang ginawa niyang di ba? Ang ginawa niyang excuse, hindi ako
Pakikisama.
makakadating kasi meron kaming attend ako ng ongoing house probe sa Congress. Pero sinabi ng Congress, hindi na, sige na kami na magpaparaya, reschedule natin para makarating ka doon. Pero in essence, lo and behold, sabi nga nila, wala siya doon sa sa NBI probe.
Like si Senator Laila de Lima, at during her time, she was a sitting senator and yet she went through the process.
Yeah, oo.
Ay,
Yun
of
yun.
course, senator, iba sa vice president. But then again, ikaw yung second highest official in the land, magpakita ka ng good character in saying, okay, I respect the rule of law.
Exactly. Pero yun namang sinasabi nila, pupunta naman sila, they're asking for enough time lang to gather yung mga documents. Actually, the camp of VP Sara is asking for the order of NBI tungkol nga dito sa probe na ginagawa sa kanya. And the camp of VP Sara also asked for advance questions na gagawin ng NBI. In essence, sinabi ng NBI, hindi naman kami nagbibigay ng advance questions Punta na lang siya dito.
Oo. Papa-explain lang naman yung statement niya against PBBM. Yun naman.
Alright.
Let's move on. On our second spot is about the OVP's Chief of Staff. The House of Representatives has ordered to end the 10-day detention of Attorney Zuleika Lopez. This comes as Lopez pledged to attend the future House hearings about the controversial confidential expenses of the OVP. She was also discharged from the Veterans Memorial Medical Center over the weekend. Lopez was hospitalized during her detainment in the Batasang Pambansa due to emotional distress. Vice President Sara Duterte earlier announced that Lopez will resign from her position after the conclusion of the House hearings.
Oo, the presidency was mine in 2022. Dahil kanina nga pinag-usapan natin, there were surveys before the 2022 elections. Siya talaga yung nagtatap at talagang gusto ng mga apparently ng mga kababayan natin na maging presidente at that time. Pero nagkaroon ng sila, ng unity, 'di ba? Uniteam. Oo.
Zuleika Lopez.
Ayaw nga pala. Wait lang, Zuleika Lopez.
Pinag-uusapan.
Doon yan para sa top 1, hindi ko sabihin.
Yan ang mahirap pag gusto mo ko
Si Zuleika Lopez ay nakauwi na over the weekend. Finally.
Sabi ko,
Meron lang akong preview from
nakatingin
top 1.
Sinabi ko, sino ba mali sa amin? Baka ako mali.
Pwede mag-sorry. Preview ko na yun for top 1. So anyway, nakauwi na itong si Attorney Zuleika Lopez na, kaya ito for context lang kaya siya na na contempt ng House of Representatives kasi nga merong letter daw na sinasabi undue interference or interference yung ginawa niya dahil pagsasabi apparently doon sa Office Commission on Audit na wag na daw pansinin o wag umattend ng magiging hearing sa House of Representatives. Okay, sige, ito na ang top 1. Na-excite ako dyan. Remaining on the top spot is Vice President Sara Duterte. VP Sara claimed that the presidency was already hers back in the 2022 elections before deciding to become President Bongbong Marcos's running mate. Meanwhile, her supporters received complaints for their noise at the EDSA Shrine over the weekend. Here's a report.
The rain did not stop Vice President Sara Duterte's supporters from staging their 6th day of protest in front of the EDSA Shrine. They are still condemning the supposed political harassment against the Vice President. The supporters moved their protests in front of the nearby mall in EDSA Shrine. This is because the church officials and churchgoers of EDSA Shrine were already complaining about their noise.
Halimbawa, nagdadasal kami dyan sa loob ng shrine, nagmimisa kami, sila naman ay sumisigaw dun sa labas. Konti yung nagsisimba.
Despite this, the Vice President still thanked her supporters for their protest in EDSA Shrine. She insisted again that House lawmakers are politically harassing and gaslighting her.
So, wag nila akong i-gaslight into saying na ako ang dahilan ng kaguluhan na ito. Ang kaguluhan na ito ay nagsimula sa sa terrorism nila, sa harassment nila, sa threats nila.
The Vice President also claimed that the presidency of 2022 was already hers before she decided to run as President Bongbong Marcos's running mate in the previous national elections. This is her response to Zambales 1st District Representative Jay Conghun's accusation that she is already aiming to become the next president. President Bongbong Marcos earlier told lawmakers to refrain from filing an impeachment complaint against VP Sara despite her attacks against him. He is also not giving up on the idea of them reconciling. But VP Sara has nothing to say about her former Unity Team running mate's recent statements.
Will not comment on the remarks of President Marcos sa ngayon. Thank you.
Di mo pwede sabihin na presidency was yours because may laban pa naman yan. Diba? You have to go through that process of election. We'll never know because it did not happen.
So,
but it wasn't hers. It was it would have been down to VP Lenny at the time.
the three of them, hahati yung boto.
Si Mayor, I think si Mayor Sara
yeah.
Duterte at the time. And with against, PBBM.
Hahati talaga yung boto nila. Iba yung magiging course of history natin ngayon. But, things happened and alam naman natin going back during the presidency of Rodrigo Duterte, sinasabi niya during his interview na 'di ba parang matigas ulo ni President, di pa sila nag-uusap ni Sara. Pero kung siya ang tatanungin, syempre ang gusto niya would be Sara is the presidential, tapos ang vice presidential nominee niya si Bongo. Di ba may mga allegedly mga usap-usapan noon.
Ayaw nila kay Bongo.
Oo, ayaw ni VP Sara kay Bongo, hindi sila in good terms, etc. At that time, allegedly. So, iliwan natin, baka sabihin nag-a-assume tayo. Pero, yun, kaya ito yung nangyari. So, nagkaroon ng unity team. And then, wala pa no, it's not even halfway through nung kanilang term, medyo nagkaroon na ng paglalabo dun sa kanilang relasyon. So, dun sinasabi din naman ni PBBM about storm in a teacup. O, diba? Bago ko lang yung narinig, pero storm in a teacup nga daw yung mga pag-i-impeach kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Yung nag-leak na message ni President Bongbong Marcos, sinasabi niya, hindi importante na ang tawag dito na i-impeach pa si VP Sara.
Basta magtrabaho.
Oo, yun.
Alright.
Meron ka bang quote?
Wala akong quote for today, but thank you sa House of Puto Bao
for
all the goods you have given to us every Monday.
Meron pa silang sauce nito.
And with the wonderful sauce. And also, thank you sa lahat ng mga brunches natin for watching another episode, another Monday, another week of fantastic news and interesting insights that sometimes are mistake.
When we touch.
Wow.
Bakit agad? Oh, go.
That wraps
ang sarap nito.
Today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
Mabuti naalala niya pangalan niya.
Of
I'm Angelo
course.
Castro III. We are One News.
All sides, all the time.